PVpowerUP, serving photovoltaic contractors and integrators with practical information and answers. Tim Pelega here for PVpowerUP. This episode we're going to talk a little bit about different types of PV panels. Now, photovoltaic panels come in a lot of different varieties, and there's many manufacturers. We're going to talk briefly about the technologies, the pros and cons, and why you would pick one panel type over another for any given installation. For years, the industry has been dominated by crystalline or crystalline modules. These modules are very standard. They come in different sizes and shapes, and there's monocrystalline, and then there's other types as well. There's even some panels where the light passes through and then bounces back where it's not opaque. Some of the panels have a black appearance to the front, and some of them have more of a blue cast to the front. These panels, this is a Kyocera panel. Kyocera has had panels in the field for well over 20 years, and they're still producing energy today, and that's why they're considered one of the workhorses or one of the most reliable panels out there. Now, the advantage of a crystalline panel is that it has a frame and it's very durable. The disadvantage is if you're going to be putting it on a rooftop that it may be too heavy and the roof may not be able to support that type of weight. Just the panel itself is going to weigh about 3 pounds per square foot. If you add a racking system on top of that, you're probably going to push up to the 4 or 5 pound minimum, and if it's a self-ballasted system, that's a system where the weight of the system holds it to the roof and it's not actually attached to the building. Those systems can push all the way up into 10 to 12 pounds per square foot. There's also panels that are made in the United States and some that aren't. This is a Schouten panel. This is another reliable panel that's been on the market for a considerable amount of time. So there's a lot to pick from. Crystalline panels tend to be the most efficient per square foot. Fastest growing segment of the PV module industry are the flexible PV modules. These are unisolar panels. They were originally designed to go onto a standing seam metal roof. They're 15.5 inches wide and either 10 or 18 feet long. This is obviously a little sample here, but it gives us an idea. The back of these panels just peel off, and they have essentially a butyl back on the back. It's actually a Sika 68. They can be installed on metal, TPO, or EPDM roofs. So when you peel off the back, you lay out, maybe do some chalk lining to make sure they're straight. You peel the back, clean the surfaces, and stick them down. They're very lightweight, less than a pound per square foot, so if roof load is an issue, this is a great option compared to crystalline. Now, they do take up twice as much space as a crystalline panel, so you'll want to keep that in mind. If you really want a lot of solar in a small area, you'll want to use crystalline if it can take the weight. As the PV market grows and it matures, a lot of new options have become available that have some unique characteristics and really work well on some specific installations. This is a Cylindra panel, and it uses a SIGS technology. It needs to go on a white roof because 20% of the energy that it absorbs comes from reflection back off of the roof. So it's really important that you have a white surface. Now, it doesn't have to be a TPO roof, but TPO or PVC are the best options to put this installation in. Now, the advantage of it is it's got weight of about 3 pounds per square foot. It has a little more solar density, so it takes up about a third less space than the thin film does. And it's not quite as dense as crystalline, but it gets pretty close. The other advantage is it's self-ballasted, so up to 120 mile-an-hour wind, you don't have to put any penetrations into the roof. It just has these little feet that sit on top of the single-ply membrane, and you just plug them together like little tinker toys. So the installation's very quick, and you have the advantage of no holes in the roof, but you also have some of the drawbacks that it's not quite as dense as crystalline and weighs more than thin film. So it's a nice installation for in between. Comes in at about 3.5 pounds per square foot. We talked about 3 different types of panels. There's many different panel types available on the market today, and we'll continue to see those options expand and grow. When you're trying to decide which panel to choose, You want to look at the weight, the cost per watt, how efficient they are per square foot, and if you're not sure which one to use, you want to work with a competent integrator or contact the different panel manufacturers to see what their pros and cons are for any given installation. We would like to thank our sponsor, Innovatus Solar, a turnkey integrator and distributor of PV modules, inverters, and all the additional equipment to install a state-of-the-art photovoltaic system. Visit Innovatus Solar at INOVATEUSsolar.com to find a dealer, purchase PV equipment, inquire about dealerships, or speak with a salesperson about Innovatus Solar's turnkey services including feasibility studies, engineering, construction, and financing.